Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hull for the running of this, the third Haltemprice 10K, organised by Haltemprice Road Runners. The day has dawned rather cool, pretty wet and breezy, somewhat different conditions to the perfect ones that we enjoyed last year, when Michael Wilson from Hallamshire had that classic battle with John Beeden, his Hallamshire teammate. Wilson went on to win that day. He's here today, but we understand that he's not in peak condition. He's been suffering from a virus for several months, but he's got the guts to turn out and try and repeat last year's performance. Last year's ladies' race was won by Carol White. She beat Sarah Deforge to take the title in the women's race for the second year in succession, but we understand that neither of those two leading athletes last year are in the field today. A thundering start down the hill, very fast indeed, down towards the Haltemprice Sports Centre, where we swing left along the Beverley Road before we start the gradual climb up through Kirkella and onwards into Swanland. Little bit of a difficult passage this year as we turn up the hill towards Kirkella. There have been some extensive roadworks which we understand have now been completed, but it does make the entrance to the Kirkella Road somewhat narrower than it had been last year. Hopefully by that time the leading contenders will have got away and will have strung out the rest of the field. And we can see already that, as with last year, we have a leading bunch of 4 athletes, I think, who really have taken this race by the scruff of the neck and decided that they're going to go for it. I can't quite see who it is in that leading bunch at the moment, but I'm fairly certain from the style of the guy in the red vest that Michael Wilson, last year's winner, is up there. A few details about the race itself. This year, the third running of the Haltemprice 10K attracts yet another record entry. Official entries before the day were 251, and we understand that there are approximately 30 entries on the day, making it a record field of around 280 athletes, club runners, joggers. And they turn the corner up the hill towards Beverley. And in the lead we have number 441, who I'm afraid I cannot tell you who it is. He's a late entry, an entry on the day, but I can confirm that in the red vest wearing the yellow gloves is Michael Wilson. Just a breakdown of the 280 entries, or rather the 251 entries before the day. We have 83 male athletes in the individual section. That's the non-club athletes, the people who run for the fun of it, to keep fit. We have 18 individual female athletes. We have 120 club affiliated athletes and 30 affiliated club female athletes. Now, when you consider that the race is only in its third year, last year's entries were around the 180 mark with 180 finishes. This year we've got 100 more, which is quite a phenomenal growth, particularly in these days where there's a veritable abundance of road races. And the athletes now, as you can see from the screen, are entering the roadwork section, and this is a difficult part of the course where obstacles have to be avoided, and the underfoot conditions are not too good either. But it's not too long a stretch, maybe a couple of 100 metres, 300 metres, and then they should be out into some clear running again. Number 108 is Peter Jones from Hull Spartan. Through the roadwork section, starting to climb the hill up into Kirkella. The two leading contenders broken well away from the rest of the field. As far as the other athletes are concerned today, in the female section, the likely winner today, if she's running anything like to form, would be Jan Moody, who at the moment is unattached, was running for Hull Achilles at this time last year, and also Denise Johnson, now living in Leeds, but still running for the Haltemprice Club. I had a word with Denise before the start. She tells me that she's not fit. She's been doing a couple of miles a day on grass, and it may well put her out of contention for the leading position today. But Jan Moody, a brief chat before the start of the race, and here she is now. Yes, just going through there with a big group of men being pulled well and well. Jan Moody says that she's running quite well. On the male section, we've already mentioned Micah Wilson. We should also mention Adrian Hill from City of Hull and Steve Rennie, who are out of contention for the leading places at the moment. And John Matthews also. John Matthews running extremely well at the moment, 42 years of age now. Has really come to the fore as far as not just veteran athletics are concerned, but club athletics generally in this Hull and District area. He finished in an excellent time last week in the Grimsby Half Marathon, I believe. The first time under 70 minutes, and well under 70 minutes as well. Phil Groves, also from the City of Hull Club, running well. I've seen him pass through earlier on. Phil Dewberry, who is 40 this year, his first experience as far as veteran athletics are concerned this year, and he could well be up there as well. We have an interesting battle in the over 45 section, where Alan Fowley is running consistently well. I believe expecting to do around about 34.5 minutes today. And I can see Denise Johnson here, clearly not in contention for the leading women's prize today. Looks to be struggling a little bit, and clearly her lack of fitness is going to tell on this increasingly tough uphill section. Alan Fowley expecting to do about 34.5 minutes. Pete Flatman, who we must wish many happy returns to today. It's his birthday. He's a late entry. He's sneaked one in. I think he's taken or tried to take Alan Fowley by surprise a little bit, and he should certainly be in contention for the over 45 section. In the over 50 section, an interesting character, Stephen James from Southport Waterloo, an ex-B international, and could well be in the low 30s as far as his time's concerned today. Chatting to that fountain of information before the race, Pete Flatman, he suggested that Stephen James might well be around 32.5 minutes today. We'll see, but we should watch out for him, and his number is 132. Others to watch who have entered, but I haven't actually seen them before the start, or certainly I haven't seen one guy called Ian Brewer, who runs for, and I've just been informed that Ian Brewer is here, running for East Hull, and Steve Winspear from Homeford Harriers, who I did manage to grab a quick word with before the start. He ran extremely well last year. Not particularly a road racer, but certainly enjoys this rather hilly course, which is very, very similar to the conditions that they run, race and train over in the West Riding of Yorkshire. So as we pick up the runners up the hill, let's see if we can pick one or two out. 158 in the female section there. And 158 was Leslie Watts, running for East Hull Harriers. 217, and that's a male unattached runner, John Dagger from Pontefract. 302, an unattached female, Christine Dalton from Hull. And a big group of runners there. We've got quite a gap now to the next section. 5 there is Patricia Laverack from Cottingham, 29 years of age. And 120, coming back to the club athletes here, 120 running for Plaxtons of Scarborough, David Park. 211, an unattached male, unattached in terms of his athletic status, Stuart Carrott from Hull, 43 years of age. The rain so far has held off. The underfoot conditions, not too bad at all. The road drains well on this uphill section. I hope for the sake of some of these athletes that the conditions remain as stable as they are at the moment, because once you get up onto the top sections, it can be pretty exposed. It can be pretty cold and windy, and if you've got wet t-shirts as well, then it can be a very chilling and miserable downhill section. Number 243 there is Stephen Nolan from Anlaby, 37 years of age, and 223 just coming into view. 223 will be Malcolm Foster from North Ferriby, there he is, 44 years of age, Malcolm Foster. 61 is another club athlete, and 61 runs for Goole Viking Striders, and that's Peter Railton. 430 coming into shot. We have a City of Hull athlete, and number 88 there running for Hull Springhead Harriers was Stephen Devereux. One of the female athletes, number 162, coming into view here. 162 runs for Goole Viking Striders, Diana Howard. And you can see from the style of some of these athletes now on this increasingly difficult uphill section that we're coming into some good class club athletes. The road continues to swing upwards through Kirkella, and then we bear a sharp left followed by a sharp right up to Swanland. In Swanland, just adjacent to the pond, is the halfway mark, and that should give us a good idea as to firstly what the times are going to be like on the day, and secondly who the leading contenders are likely to be on the fast downhill section. Number 437 there is another late entry on the day. Sorry, can't give you any more information on 437. 84 in the black vest. We just missed 84. Let's pick out somebody else. We're an interesting athlete now coming up, just coming into view. Number 24, and that's Glenn Hood for City of Hull. He's 61 years of age. He's actually the oldest male athlete in the race. Just turned into the over 60 section and picked up a lot of prizes this year. Number 96, Hull Springhead Harrier. 96 is Richard Knight, and he's 16. He's one of the two youngest male athletes in the race. His compatriot, also from Hull Springhead Harriers, Philip Burgess. He's number 85. We'll see if we can spot him as we go along, but he's also 16. Some more facts and figures as far as age categories are concerned in the race. If we look at the unattached section, the runners who do it to keep fit, who aren't affiliated to any clubs, the average age of the male athletes in that section is 34. Of the female athletes, it's also 34. The youngest competitors in the unattached section for the males, we have David Curtis, who resides in Kirkella, and he's 19 years of age. Jason Cooper is also 19, and he resides in Kirkella. The oldest unattached male is Brian Rossingdale, 57, from Batley. So he's travelled a fair way today. Number 169 there, on the female side. 169 is Deborah France from Hull Achilles. And number 8 is Bob Pratt, Robert Pratt from Bridlington Roadrunners. Just going back to that age information, on the unattached side, the average female age is 34. The youngest is Dawn Stark from Hull, and the oldest, if you'll excuse me, is Dorothy Williams, 54, from Kirkella. We mentioned the ages in the unattached section. If we switch to the club athletes now, in the male section the average age is 34. The youngest being Richard Knight from Springhead, who we've seen, and his compatriot Philip Burgess, also 16, from Springhead. The eldest club athlete is Glenn Hood, who fortunately we've also seen, 61, runs for City of Hull. And on the female side, 35 is the average age. Joanne Lyons from City of Hull is the youngest at 18, and Jean Nicholson from White City Hull Road Running Club is 59. Number 202. Number 202 is an unattached athlete running well. He's well up there, and that's Alan Baston from Hull. And number 15. Number 15 is Malcolm Brown from Buxton AC, and he's working well up the hill. He's working really well. He looks to be coming through. Number 23, running for City of Hull, and that's Neil Hewson. Neil is 18 years of age and 421, an unattached athlete. He runs for Hull Vikings, Gould Viking Striders, my apologies, Gould Viking Striders, but he's an entry on the day. Pete Chapman, number 18 for City of Hull, running alongside number 212. He's an unattached athlete, and he's Andy Corley from Anlaby, 27 years of age. Number 31 for City of Hull, Mike Vickers. Another athlete just turned into the veteran section. We've got 3 athletes running together here, 2 of whom extremely well known locally. George Baker from the City of Hull Club. Number 441 kept his entry secret today, running alongside Ray Cox, ex-UK and England international 431. I must apologise to the Springhead athlete, but there again, he's an entry on the day, and Mark Harwich, I've just been told, running alongside Baker and Cox. In days gone by, these 2 athletes would have been a formidable pair. Baker just returned from some overseas training in the Canary Islands. Ray Cox working hard at his training now, and it's paying off. It's paying off as we turn down the hill. We're through Swanland now. We're turning down the hill. We've got this long, some 3-mile section now back down to the Haltemprice Sports Centre. We skirt Anlaby. We turn left in Anlaby, back along the road towards the Haltemprice Centre, left up the hill to the finish. As we move through, we'll move through to try and pick up some of the leading athletes. Number 25 there, running for City of Hull, not in his club vest, is Sean Lyons, 18 years of age. Number 9, running for Bridlington there, and we've seen him before, Bob Pratt. 39 for Congleton is Sean Bolton. And number 93, a Springhead Harrier, Mike Harrop. Janice Moody, number 307, unattached. We believe she's the first female athlete. She looks to be running very strongly. Had a few injury problems, a few problems with feet. a few club problems as well, but she's still undoubtedly a class athlete. And if she could ever realise her true potential, then we would see a phenomenal athlete there in Jan Moody. 140, 145 there. 145. I'm sorry, I don't have 145. Maybe it was 143. York Priory Street Panthers, 37-year-old Richard Ratcliffe. Phil Dewberry, number 89, closely followed by Alan Fowley in the sweatband from City of Hull, number 22, and keeping pace with number 71 from Haltemprice Roadrunners, and that's Mark Simons. Dewberry working hard, over 40 now. Flatman just ahead of him, 426, and Page 413. 38 for Congleton Harriers is Graham Bennett. 45 is David Birdle from Doncaster Plant Works AC. 403, an entry on the day, looks to be an East Hull Harrier. Sorry, a Springhead Harrier. We've got quite a gap now to the next athlete, and I think it's Micah Wilson. I think this looks, if we're looking ahead now, he should be on camera in a minute. I think this is Micah Wilson. He's not had a good run. And it's Micah Wilson from Hallamshire, last year's winner. He's given us the thumbs down. His fitness is not what it was. He's put a bit of weight on. He's had the problem with the virus. 142, just ahead of him here. 142 is Aidan Jones from York Priory Street Panthers. 76 from the Home Firth Club. Had a good run last year. And that is Steve Winspear, 32 years of age. 132 is Steve James. That's the over 50 athlete from Waterloo, Southport Waterloo, the ex-England B international. The athletes coming into view now. Steve Rennie, number 28, just dropped off the back of this pack. Ian Groves, 54, hanging in there. Phil Groves. We've got John Matthews, 26, and Adrian Hill, 30. They're not actually in the lead. We can see ahead of us, and he should come into camera shot before too long, another athlete. But we believe that Adrian Hill is leading the chasing bunch. The chasing bunch, which includes 4 City of Hull athletes and 1 East Hull Harrier, Ian Greer. (108) is the Hull Achilles athlete, and that is Hull Spartan, sorry, my apologies, Hull Spartan, Peter Jones. And we've got the embarrassing situation, which we will rectify at the finish, of having a leading athlete who is just coming into camera shot that we don't know what he's called. He's a late entry on the day. No one spotted him. I had a chat with the entry secretary just before the start, and we picked up 1 or 2 leading athletes who had entered on the day, such as Pete Flatman, such as George Baker, but we didn't pick out number 411. And I apologise to the viewers, and I apologise to the athlete himself, but we'll certainly get to know who he is at the finish. He's looking very strong. He's looking very relaxed, and he knows the race is won. There's no looking back. He doesn't need to look back. He's got the best part of 150 metres on the second athlete, Peter Jones from Hull Spartan, and he's got in the region of, I guess, quarter to half a mile, maybe half a mile, before he bears left on the Beverley Road back towards Haltemprice. As we enter the closing stages of this 1989 Haltemprice 10K, we're going to leave the leading athlete, number 411, and head on back to the finish and wait for the leading contenders, the good club runners, the also-rans and the fun runners, to join us there.
Just speaking to it.
We've got the leading athlete coming into view now, and it's Andy Lyons from City of Hull, number 411.
Had a chance to get his breath back or have an interview with Andy Lyons. Looking at the opposite. John Matthews, number 26. Oh, yeah, great. Well done. You've got it in there, Bill Grove. Ian Groover from East Hull Harriers. The next athlete to cheer. Conditions have been not ideal, but certainly better than they could have been about an hour before the start of the race.
Athletes now starting to finish thick and fast. And before long we should, and here he is, last year's winner, Michael Wilson. Obviously the virus which has been affecting him for the last few months has not been completely got rid of. Steve Winspear from home is in numbers, but 76 Steve Winspear had a good run today. He's travelled across from Home Firth. He's the only Home Firth athlete here today. This is the second year. Number 100 and 141. Areas and entry. Race there between spectacle in his familiar colours and contrasting blue headband. Alan Fowley, number 22. Should have taken the over 45 surprise today. Number 19 for City of Hull. B. Flatman 426. Found it a bit tough today. Beaten by Fowley. And he'll be a bit disappointed with that. Given that it's his birthday. Before too much longer, we should expect to see the first female athlete, who should be, if everything goes to form, Janice Moody. And she's on her way now, we understand. Janice Moody is on her way. Baker from City of Hull finishes. Number 441. Cox just behind him. And Janice Moody just finishing now. Janice Moody, number 307. And she's quite a way clear of the next female athlete. We'll let her get her breath back, and then hopefully we'll grab a word with her. Mike Vickers, number 31 for City of Hull. And number 25 is Sean Lyons for City.